Hey, how's it going, boys? Right here from HBF Action. Today we'll be talking about killing Magnas, or at least understanding how Magnas work, so you can like get them closer to half HP and whatnot. So it's, you know, you can at least confirm the MVP status. So you can, after that, you can just open the public and shit and whatnot. All right. So because one of the reasons why. Because we've been having a lot of Magna Fest lately, especially it just happened like a week ago, like cons, like pretty damn long actually because of the whole summer thing going on. So I'm pretty sure you've been leeching a hell lot, so by now you should be much stronger, right? For this specific video, I'll be focusing on Chev, or Lumi in Luminaria in English. But I just like to call it Chev or Chevalier, that's like the original Japanese name to it, so anyway. Other Magnas will be coming out as well, but they'll be coming out at a later time. So anyway, let's get right into it. So Chev, how does she work? Her mechanics, the things that you need to remember. Number one is she has that her shield, Aegis shield mechanic going on. So there's like a few things that you really need to keep in mind. So number one is you must, no matter what, always bring dispel, simply because of that shield itself. Based on maybe you have more than one character that brings shield, but that's honestly up to you, but I'll explain that a little bit later. So anyway, you must always have a shield no matter what, especially when you're soloing. So other than a shield, she also has that her 50% HP super, or Ogi, whichever you call it. So once her HP goes all the way down to 50%, she will trigger her Ogi. And alright, so before that, right, basically from 100% to the 50% meter, HP. So what's gonna happen is that she will always trigger her shield no matter what. When you, number one, you let her Ogi bar goes all the way to full, and then she casts her Ogi before her 50%, she will reactivate her shield again. And when her shield activates, right, you need to keep in mind that her Ogi, you know, the dot thing that the Ogi turns, that will always constantly go out no matter what. So you really have to keep that in mind. And which is why having like delays and such could probably be, I don't know, could be helpful or could be not. But anyway, for those tips and tricks, I'll leave it to the end. So this, I'm just mentioning how her mechanics work for now. So okay, so that's like the gist on how, or the most important thing that you kind of need to know about Chev on how she works. You have to remember that, okay, number one, remember her shield, and she'll always cast her shield when her Ogi goes full, above 50% HP. Once she gets to 50% HP, she will do her super, and her super hurts so much balls. So yes, that's the things that you really need to remember. So this three important things. So okay, let's go on to the next part. So this is where the fun starts. There is several ways that you can actually use to like abuse how Chev's shield mechanics work. So for example, you can, if you're like very low level and whatnot, your team is pretty weak and you probably have like very low HP and such, putting slow or delay, all that stuff, basically to prolong her super bar when she's above 50% HP, that will kind of make her able to do her normal auto attacks on you even more. So if like you're really low HP, you wouldn't want to do that. So you should really want, like, kind of want her to like constantly do her Ogi. So, but usually by then your dispel should be already recovered by then. You just need to use once to dispel, right? Unless you have like more than one character that has dispel, such as if you're using Bishop and Vepi. So one of the reasons why you would want to activate her shield in most cases is because you'll be able to, number one, survive longer, and also gives you time to get all your other good skills cooldowns to be back up again and stuff like that. Or maybe get an extra turn to boost up your meter and stuff like that to get like a super boom, and then you can get her to 50% much faster. So with that in mind, let's go on to the party lineup. How would you want to do it? Or this is how I kinda did it, or stuff like that. So let's go. So for your class, for your MC's class, probably the best class I would say is number one, which should be Bishop, because Bishop has a dispel. And then you'll be using Miserable Mist or like, I don't know, Blind and such for your MC's EX skill, because maybe you'll be using like Lady Grey or some maybe Dark Janu for example. It is up to you, because you kind of want someone to help you debuff her defense and attack at the same time. But yeah, usually that's the case. Because on my case, I didn't really use Bishop because I'm an idiot, right? Actually, it's fine as well if you want to use Dark Fencer. Because for me, right, I use Dark Fencer because I already have a lot of Zenith points already invested in that class, so I decided to just use that. But I've never touched using the slow or the delay, or I did not even use gravity. The only thing that I use on my Dark Fencer is the Miserable Mist and probably what's the skill called, Arrow Shower or whatnot, that decreases the damage even more, because I can take the damage. Or if you're afraid of taking damage, you can also either include like Charm or what you call that, Blind. Those are really good skills as well. If you have Vampy, yes, you can also use Vampy's Charm, and then your MC will be putting Blind instead. So it's really up to you. But in most cases, you either use Bishop or Dark Fencer. But usually Dark Fencer, right, if you're low level, keep this in mind, if you're really low level and weak, using Dark Fencer without any dispel, it's quite risky. Instead of you just instead of you just relying your dispel on Vampy's skill, that's actually quite dangerous, because you have to remember that Vampy's skill is 7 turns cooldown. So in that perspective, right, you have to keep in mind that if you can't really like withstand the amount of hits you're getting, you kind of want what you call that, Chev to constantly do a super, which is reactivating a shield. So in a way that for you to be able to cast the the dispel again, which usually Chev has only like up to 4 turns if I recall correctly before she supers. So you need to put out delays or slows or gravity, whatever, to make sure Vampy is able to do that dispel again to get rid of a shield. But to do that, you kind of need to withstand extra damage, right? So if you can't take the extra damage, I really suggest you to use, well, Bishop's the best, because you can heal, you can dispel, and do Blind as well at the same time. Or Miserable Mist, which is usually whichever you prefer, because the combos is really up to you. So there's several compositions that you can actually use for this thing, as this raid. Oh my god, I can't even say properly. So anyway, there's a lot of compositions you can use here. This is just mainly focused if you're going to be using dark teams. If you're using your main teams, that's really up to you. But you have to always remember that dispel and all the debuffs are pretty helpful in this raid. So if, let's say, if you're using off element and stuff like that, right, the number one is you need to have dispel. The rest of them, if you can withstand all that, then yeah, by all means, you can just use back what I mentioned in the 2 segments that I mentioned, and really just all about you withstanding. Maybe you can put in like extra shields, like the damage reduction shields, like phalanx and whatnot. That's really up to you. So for this one, I'm just gonna say dark characters because that's like the most optimal ones. So anyway, party members, you can use like really the best examples, or the best ones you can probably use is either Lady Grey or Vampy, because having Vampy is you can either get an extra dispel. So if you're using Dark Fencer, right, because Dark Fencer's skill, if I recall correctly, is only 4 turns cooldown, because usually it's 5 turns cooldown, but because of the support passive that you have on the Dark Fencer, it turns into 4, so it allows you to dispel even faster. But that's for Dark Fencer. So if you're on Bishop, you're just gonna stay at 5. But if you're using Vampy, you get an extra dispel. So that way it allows you to like get an extra dispel if say you just fuck up or whatever stuff. Or because you have to remember another thing is that I don't think I mentioned this earlier, but yeah. So I'm sorry about that. So anyway, if you put another dispel after her shield breaks, she will do that Aegis merge effect again, which she basically just do that and she doesn't attack. So you can actually use that thing to what you call that, to redo, I don't know, get your skill cooldown down even basically delay a turn, in short. So that's one of the good reasons why it's good to have 2 dispels, especially if you're really low level. So other than that, here you can have Lady Grey. One of the reasons why I suggest Lady Grey in here is also because she would be your debuffer, because it stacks with Miserable Mist, and that's basically like I think the maximum count already, unless you're not at level 5-star yet, but usually that's still fine, because having an extra debuff, it's really helpful. And her poison is nice. It's not that great until you reach 100, but it's still okay. It's still nice to have, you know, all that. So, and then you have one more slot. You usually will put that as your main core attacker, which you can probably consist of Forte, Narumia, Dankjanu. I'm not going to include 6 here, because if you have 6 in here, I'm pretty sure you can clear this raid very easily, right? So that's what do you call that? That's kind of like the gist on the characters that you'll be probably using most of the time for this raid if you're relatively low level. Alright, I know I've been talking way too much, so anyway, I'm gonna like show you a little clip on my very old stream video where I was like constantly doing Chev before. I think I was doing one of the Magna Fest previously, if I recall correctly. It was like a few months back. So I can just show you a brief how I did it, and then I'll explain along the way. So anyway, here we go. So alright, so this is one of the raids that I did very long ago. Back then I didn't even have my face cam up yet, but this is like the time where I didn't really have like a proper dark team yet. So what I was using was my Grand Order team, which consists of Amira, Sarah, Narumia, and my MC is a Dark Fencer. So my Dark Fencer is having the Dispel as the EX skill, and the reason why I have Amira is because I want another character to be able to give meter to my Narumia and stuff. And Sarah is to withstand the 50% Ogi damage that Chev does. So anyway, so let's continue playing the video. So as you can see here, usually you will want to like just one turn hit, and then you just let Chev activate the shield first, and then once that shield is up, you want to dispel and then do all the debuffs, because the debuffs does not run away. So it's best you stick all your debuffs first, and then once you attack, the shield and the stuff break, and yep, there you go, it breaks. And then I'll be buffing up, because that's like the time where the shield is off. That's when you can actually do proper damage again. So you want to activate all your buffs and stuff. And the reasons why I activate the Sarah shield there is because I want to take lesser damage right off the bat, because by the time her shield refreshes, it also refreshes Sarah's shield, so that way it's good. Because also having like the level 75 buff on Sarah's shield, she also gives another 2 or 3 extra turns of defense up, so it's really helpful to have that. So yeah, so I'm still like buffing up and stuff. Alright, just because this is also taken when I was having my assault time and whatnot. So okay, I'm hitting. Okay, hitting super and stuff. Okay. Alright, I'm just gonna like just watch through the whole damn thing again, because I kind of forgot how I kind of did it, but because it's been so long since I last did this kind of method. Since right now, all this while I've really been just using 6, and 6 is like so damn easy with Dark Channel. Like they just do so much damage. Yeah, I'm just watching the whole damn. For some reason, I'm not refreshing, but okay. So yeah, so that's oh yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. I mentioned 4 turns earlier. It's actually 5 turns. Okay, my bad. So here is actually there's nothing much. All you're just gonna do is probably just attack and whatnot, I guess. I have no idea what am I doing there. I'm probably like talking bullshit. Alright, here we go. They're just attacking because... Oh, you see that's like so much damage taken there. Yeah. So what's gonna happen here is that, alright, I'm just attacking again. Oh yeah. I forgot to disable my super, but yeah, I'm just attacking. Look, as you can see, her super is maxed out and she reactivates her shield again. So what happens here is that I'm gonna do an extra like loop. Technically it's a loop again. So right here I'm just going to like dispel, debuff, etc again. Then just do like insane amount of damage. Hopefully I just don't proc her 50% HP yet. And what do you call that? Yeah, so just so that I won't be able to trigger her super, because I want what do you call that, Sarah to withstand all that damage, because Sarah has that substitute and the other skill which gives you fuck tons of defense, so technically she won't be getting any damage to begin with. So in a way, her phalanx, her 50% shield of phalanx is not really required to have, because I mean Sarah's just really a good tank, especially for raids such as this. So anyway, I'm just gonna I'm gonna speed things up a little bit. I'm just gonna skip. Alright, so here, as you can see, it's already almost what do you call that? Almost like 50%. So as you can see, my Sarah is already activating that two skills, the first and the third skill, which basically withstands everything, mind you. So it's really nice. But if you can't take the damage, just on, I mean it's fine. It's if you just once you proc that 50% bar, right, you're already at the MVP spot. So it doesn't really matter if you can't survive her OE or whatnot. So honestly, the main part is to just withstand the first 50%. Oh, she took damage there. Okay, never mind. So technically she needs phalanx to get 0 damage. But yeah, that's you get the idea. She doesn't receive much damage. And the person who, like, because Sarah took everything, right? So she'll get paralyzed. But if you do not have like any skill such as substitute, you will, how you call that, get every single damage out there, and I don't know, just the paralyze will be kind of random, I think. It's just, yeah. So yeah, so as you can see, I just opened to public, and that's kind of like the gist of it. So hopefully you can use this video to put in yourself, hopefully get better at dealing with Chev and whatnot, and this, yeah, and then hopefully that awesome SWAT drops. So anyway, hope that you guys enjoyed today's tutorial video-ish. I think, I'm not even sure I can call this a tutorial, but yeah, so this is kind of how I deal with Chev, or the ways I would do to deal with Chev. So anyway, the other Magnas will be coming out on a later date. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Hope to see you guys on stream every day at 10 PM JST. Hope to see you guys there, or in any other videos. So if anything I do wrong, which honestly there's a lot of things I did wrong in this video, but yeah, if you enjoy it, please leave a like. If you hate it, just hit dislike button and leave a comment and tell me what I did wrong and stuff like that. It really helps. And if you think this is helpful, it'd be great if you can share this with your friends and whatever. But yeah, so that's about it. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Peace out. Have a great day ahead of you. And as always, may the sun be with you, boys. Ciao, guys.